We are 1 week away from the Winter Olympics. Milan Cortina, this is going to be fun. I love the Winter Olympics. Both of us have had the chance to cover the Winter Games. So you covered 2022 in Beijing.
That's right. Yep.
And before that, you were like back to back, because you were in Tokyo right before that as well.
Exactly. And those were both COVID Olympics, you might remember.
Yes.
So it was super stressful for us, for the athletes, and people's parents weren't there.
Right.
It was kind of crazy. But in Beijing at the Olympics, we were in a bubble. So there were Chinese attendees that were separated by glass and fencing. I mean, with wire over it. We could only eat, at the restaurant in our hotel.
This is going to feel so much different for both the athletes and for all of the spectators. I covered the Winter Games in 2010 when they were in Vancouver, Canada. I absolutely love the Winter Games. That might be the Canadian in me talking, but I'm really excited. We want to give you 5 things that you need to know ahead of the Winter Games so that you are fully locked and loaded, so that you've got your party tools. You can chat about whatever you want to talk about.
Know who you're rooting for.
Exactly. 5 things to know about the Milan Cortina Winter Olympics. Number 1, Lindsey Vonn coming out of retirement, competing in the women's downhill at the age of 41. This is a big deal for her.
Absolute legend. She has nothing to prove. She has this crazy lucrative career,
yes.
but downhill skiing is so hard on your back, on your knees. I mean, it is an intense sport. So people going beyond their mid-30s is really rare. At 41, she's just a powerhouse. I can't wait.
But this is one of her favorite mountains to ski on. She talks about how much she loves it. She's crushed it. She's dominated a number of competitions here. So she really wants to be involved in this. But it's been 16 years since she won gold, 8 years since her last Olympic Games.
And one interesting thing is that the tech, because I'm skier, I snowboard,
yes.
So I'm always following. I nerd out a little bit. The tech with the skis, the bindings, it all changes really rapidly. So even from Beijing, there's a lot of adaptation that has to happen, feeling out the weights and all of that. And this is for the love of the sport, right? Again, she has nothing to prove, but Olympic pressure is still very real. I mean, we saw it with Michaela Schifrin in Beijing, that pressure is just, it's a lot, but hopefully she'll just have fun with it.
Yeah. By the way, when you're watching the downhill skiing, know that this is one of the most challenging mountains in the world for downhill. Like double the incline. If you were not the incline, the slope.
Yeah.
If you're just recreationally skiing. So this is super, super challenging, but she's won 2 World Cup downhills this year. She is in good shape. She's ready. I'm looking forward to seeing her.
And it's being there. Were you able to go, to the mountain?
I did.
Yeah, in Beijing, it was kind of a haul. We had to, take a train all the way up and everything. But I got up there, and seeing it on TV, you don't really appreciate that slope that you're talking about. I mean, it is insane.
Super steep.
I've been down double blacks, but you're just it's absolute athletic prowess.
And, well, at least in Vancouver, because these athletes are going down them so much, it gets icy too. So I have great admiration for all of these athletes. Okay, number 2, the NHL is allowing its players to compete for gold after a 12-year hiatus. This, in part, is because the league wants to grow the sport, right? They don't succeed if there aren't young kids coming up wanting to play hockey. So the NHL is saying, players, okay, yes, we are going to let you get back to playing, to competing in the Olympics.
Are you a Caniac?
You know what? I have great appreciation for the Canes. I'm not going to call myself a Caniac because I know true Caniacs, so I don't want to insult them by. But I am very excited that we've got 5 players from the Carolina Hurricanes that are going to be there.
It's absolutely huge, and this is really, you mentioned we're seeing the best on the best for the first time since 2014.
Yeah.
So hockey fans, I mean, this is just going to be so fun. And the rink is actually a little bigger, than NHL rink. So, you can expect it to be faster. It's going to change, higher scoring perhaps. It might change gameplay a little bit in a way that's really entertaining and fun. And some of these players say that Olympic gold is just as, and sometimes more important than a Stanley Cup. So they're going to be fighting for it.
Yeah, they're representing their country, right? By the way, in case you're wondering, so when we talk about the 5 Carolina Hurricanes players who are going to be competing in the Olympics this year, so we've got Jacob Slavin. He's competing for Team USA. Sebastian Aho competing for Finland. Frederick Anderson and Nikolai Ehlers are going to be both competing for Denmark. So they're going to be competing against each other, you know, players on the same team competing against each other.
That might be fun to watch.
Totally.
If they end up.
Other big name players participating. We've got Connor McDavid. He is from Canada. He plays for the Edmonton Oilers. We've got Sidney Crosby also playing for Canada. Austin Matthews is playing for Team USA. He's with the Toronto Maple Leafs. So they're all going to be there. So this is, again, after a 12-year hiatus, something like that, this is going to be first time back that we get to watch them compete.
Yeah, more representative of the sport, I think. Obviously, these are the best players. And so it's just going to be fun to watch. And hopefully U.S. can take home the gold.
Exactly. Go Team USA. Number 3, Chloe Kim, hoping for a 3rd straight gold medal. She won gold in women's snowboarding halfpipe in 2018 and again in 2022. Probably one of the biggest names that Team USA is sending to Milan Cortina.
I have a huge crush on her. Oh my gosh. I love Chloe Kim so much, and it was so amazing to watch her. Blah, blah, blah. I mean, it just looks magical.
Yes. What was it like covering Chloe Kim when you were at the Olympics in Beijing?
She just seems so cool, calm, and collected. And it's interesting because she's talked so widely about, you know, her mental health struggles, taking a step back after Beijing. And I think that was kind of normalized more after Tokyo. Obviously, we saw with Simone Biles and Michael Phelps talked about it. And there's a little less stigma here around it, I think, because it is just so much pressure. And you know, they pour so much of their lives and time into preparing for this. And that mental getting in the zone might be just as important as the physical training, or at least just such a big component. But seeing her, I mean, it was like she had a string attached to her and gravity was defied, you know? I mean, and the half pipe is just again, something you see on TV. And then I stood in the bottom of it. I mean, it's stories, like huge. A building ahead of you. Just the thought of dropping in on that is absolutely, I mean, and she's going for, you know, 3 straight golds is something a woman has never done. It's
she
great.
Will solidify her name as the best.
Right, and I think she'll be the Shaun White of women, right, is what we're seeing. And it was great. I mean, I'm a big Shaun White fan, too. I got to meet him there. And it was funny because COVID Olympics, obviously. So he was wearing a face mask. And I recognized his board. He has a brand called White Space. And he had just picked it up. And I go, Shaun. And he turned, and I was like, gotcha. So we were able to chat for a while.
You can't hide from Liz.
We talked about this a little bit earlier, but a lot of the snow there was artificial. So that was a concern from a lot of them, how it would slide differently. I mean, just these small factors, you know, in climate can really change how the trajectory you fly off of the edge and the room you have to do the flips. I mean, there's just so much precision and so many of those little details matter, but I can't wait to see her.
Well, also, she separated her shoulder during training in early January, but she claims she's good to go. So she's all in, but you know, you got to wonder, is that going to play into how she performs? I mean,
especially with some of those rotations, you're really starting that movement with your shoulder, but a lot, you know, falls are inevitable. Again, it's so huge. So shoulder injuries are pretty common, and luckily a quick one to recover from.
Hopefully, Number 4, there is a new competition you need to know about, ski mountaineering, but you're not going to hear it being called that too much. You're going to hear it being called Skimo. This is a fun one. This is so intense, though. It's a combination sport. So it's climbing up a mountain on skis using skins, hiking on the mountain in boots, and then descending down the mountain on skis through gates. I'm exhausted just saying all of that.
It's my worst nightmare. Not gonna lie, it's my absolute worst. I don't even like going through the flats, you know, in between runs, you know, on a snowboard.
Sweating.
I have friends who ski and they're like, "You want to do backcountry?" Absolutely not.
No, thank you.
No, I want to take the lift. But Skimo, cute name. Also, it takes a little less grooming infrastructure than downhill skiing, say, and as the climate's warming, that's becoming a bigger issue with Winter Olympics. Even with we looked at the list of cities that could host, and there was an analysis, and only 2 were gonna be for sure have consistent enough snow to do it. There really is more reliance on artificial snow, so we might see more sports like this become more popular that are a little more accessible and not so dependent on having a whole mountain covered in fluffy snow.
So we could see more sports like this. By the way, if you don't already know this, Liz is our climate change reporter here at WRAL. So this is your expertise. I had no idea that they were starting to really look at these kinds of alternatives because they want the Olympics to continue to thrive. They're going to have to adapt as needed.
I'll mention too, Cam
yeah.
Smith is
Yes.
someone we have an eye on for U.S. And this is really a European-dominated sport, but he's really, one of the first that are
Yeah.
finally getting in the running here.
Totally. Cam Smith, the first American man to finish top 10 in a ski mountaineering World Cup race, and 11-time U.S. ski mountaineering national champion. He is one to watch. Cam Smith, that's another name to keep on your radar. Number 5, Caden Beasley from Coates, North Carolina, is on the Paralympic sled hockey team. He is 19 years old. This is going to be his Paralympic debut. We are excited to see some North Carolina representation at the Winter Games, not something that we normally get to do.
And they've expanded, access for adaptive athletes since 2018. So it's really neat to see, some of the sport evolution there. And this is a really physical sport. I think a lot of first-time viewers are surprised at how, action-packed it is.
His arm strength is incredible. His full body strength is incredible. If you haven't yet, go over to WRAL.com or type into Google Caden Beasley, WRAL. You'll see the story that we did with him. He is phenomenal. He started playing adaptive sport in 2019. He and his brother Caleb were adopted a couple of years apart from the same adoption agency in China. So just a really interesting story for this double leg amputee above the knees. We are going to be cheering him on.
And North Carolina, represent.
Exactly. Thanks for watching. Now you've got your 5 things to know ahead of the Winter Games coming up. It's only 1 week away.
Can't wait.